There's an incidence of drug resistance where you give a particular drug to an animal or a sick animal and the animal is not getting better because the causing organism is immune to that. So the medicine has no effect on the animal. So how do you stop this from happening? The first one I'll tell you is that you need to always ensure it is well diagnosed. And this one, you can do this if a veterinarian helps you with it. Well diagnosed, and they know that this is the particular treatment you need to give to this animal. You either give antiviral medication or antibiotics. So you consult a veterinarian to give you proper diagnosis. But if you are very, very confident in yourself and you know that this is the cause of it, then you can go ahead, go get yourself that particular antibiotic or antiviral medication you give to your pig. If you are drawing the medication, ensure you always draw the right amount and the duration. You should also adhere to a duration. The right amount is that if you are to give 1 ml of the medication to 33 kilograms of body weight, you should have it and you should know the weight of your animal. If your animal is weighing 50 plus, you know that you have to give at least 1.5 or 2 ml of the same medication to the animal. You understand? So that is the right dosage you have to do it. Because if you do it less or you don't draw the right amount, you end up not giving the required amount that can tackle the organism inside the system of your pig. You understand? And once you go there to just tame the animal or the organism inside, if then they are in numbers, they can quickly reactivate. And when that happens, the same drug cannot fight them again. And that is why you keep giving the same medication, yet your animals are not getting better. You understand it? That is why you always need to ensure you give the right dosage. And also with the duration, follow it through. They indicate maybe give 2 ml for 5 days. It means day 1 you give 2 ml, day 2 2 ml, day 3 3 ml, 2 ml, day 4 2 ml, day 5 2 ml for 5 good days. Don't skip any of them. You are fond of saying my animal is getting better or my animal is no more showing the symptoms again, so it's time I stop it. No, you don't have to do that. Even if your animal is getting better, you still have to go ahead and give the medication for the duration that has been indicated. If it is 5 days and your animal gets better on the 3rd day, you should continue with the extra 2 days to ensure that the drug is well administered to the animal. And the next one you can also do is that when you are buying the medication, it is for some of them, I was having one here. So for some of them, it is rightly indicated on it. It is for a broad spectrum microbials. So maybe antibiotic, so maybe bacteria or viruses. Always ensure you get something that is very specific, narrow. So if it is for maybe E. coli, you know that you're going in for medication that will tackle E. coli. But one thing about getting this broad spectrum medication is that just like we humans, we have some bacteria in us that are very harmless, and they even help us to live a healthy life. But if you go to buy this broad spectrum, whilst you are targeting that bacteria inside your system, it will end up, because it is broad, it will end up tackling or trying to interact with the useful one that you already have in your system. And if that happens, and that medication, because it is broad, it has been able to compromise what is useful to you inside your system, it will end up also lowering your immunity down. You understand? So it is the same thing with some animals, especially the pigs. They also have some bacteria inside their system, particularly inside the gut, the stomach, and also the esophagus side. They have this bacteria there, which are very useful to them. They don't cause any harm. But once this broad spectrum medicine gets into them, there's a tendency that it will end up going to fight the useful one inside your system. So you don't have to always stick to the broad one. If you do that, you end up compromising what is useful to the animal already. And the next one you're supposed to also do is that if you go in to buy a medication, you should not always stick with one. Maybe you have been using a particular drug. Don't let your farm be known for that drug alone, but keep rotating the drugs. So if maybe this one is 2.5%, the next one is maybe 1.5%, something like that. So you get it in that range, and then the only thing is maybe the dosage will change. That is why some of us, when you go to buy drug, you give it and the animal is not getting better. It's because if it is maybe 2.5, if it is maybe 2%, you have been using all the time and you draw 3 ml. If it comes to 1.5 or 1, If you go to draw the same 2, it might not work. You need to maybe increase it to maybe 4. Okay, but because you are maybe used to the old one, you buy the drug and you always want to stick to the 1.5 to 2 mil like that. It's not going to work for your animal. You keep rotating. If today you use 2.5 now, the next day you use this. If maybe there are also available options, maybe through subcutaneous or in the muscles, you keep changing them. Some in the muscles, some under the skin. All right. And the next one you're supposed to also do is that you need to also ensure that your environment is always clean, because if it is clean and very hygienic, you don't really rely too much on medications. And some of them too, you look at the environment, like I said, the structure and then how the area is. There are some times that your animal will be coughing. You'll be tempted to go and give maybe antibiotics to the animal, but that might not be the cause of it. Maybe it's death, or maybe there's extreme heat in the environment that's making your pigs feel uncomfortable, and they're always shaking. When you see them stand, you'll be shaking. They feel the heat in them is too much. So if something like that happens, just observe your environment and see that it's conducive enough. The roofing and then the ventilation, everything is on point. With that, you can go ahead and do the medications. Remember that most of these gases, this waste the animals produce, they end up giving gases which are toxic. So once they start also inhaling the same gas again, they struggle with it, and that is where they try to cough a lot and also sneeze. You see some running water from their eyes, and some even shit. They give some kind of poops that you are not even familiar with on the farm. And the next one is also supposed to do is that you need to ensure you train your farm workers, assuming you're not the one doing it yourself. You train your farm workers and have some periodic trainings with them. Wherever, anytime there's an update, you come back and tell them what is happening and what they're supposed to do. There are some farmers, some farm attendants, once you train them on intramuscular injection, that is inside the muscles, they always stick to that. It does not matter whether they can give the same medication inside the skin alone, under the skin, or like that. They don't know, but they stick to one. So whatever medication you give to them, they are tempted to give it through the known one already. And it is your duty for you to always ensure that you update them. This is the medication, and this is what you're supposed to give to the animal, and this is how you should administer. You should get into the muscles of the animal. And this one also, you're not supposed to inject or let the animal drink it, but you're supposed to spray on the skin of the animal, and the animal should be better with it. And the next one you can also do is that you need to also have some vaccination schedule, such that you don't even wait for the disease to show up before you try to treat, but always have a way, like a preventive measure, where you're always giving your medication at the right time. For pig farming, it's not that much. You're deworming, you know that maybe every 2 months or every 3 months you deworm once. This one should be on your schedule. If it is iron you're giving and the piglets has 3 to 7 months, 7 days old, you give iron, and maybe you repeat after 21 days, and then maybe you deworm them after you have weaned them from their mother. So for that, you have to have a table or a chart where you can always refer to, and then you do that correctly. And the next one you can also do is that you also keep records of whatever that is happening on the farm. If you give a medication, ensure that you know the name of the medication, the dosage you used, and the duration. Maybe you use it for 3 days consecutively. You know that this is the drug I used at this point, and I used it for from 23rd to maybe 26th of the same month. You understand? And should help you to keep yourself vested. So if it's not working, you quickly refer to that particular record. You look at the drug you bought and how you administered it. You look at to see that you have done the right thing, but the animal is not getting better. You reverse by going to get another drug or different drug altogether. But that you can also involve a veterinarian to come there and give you some proper and then professional advice on what to do next. Yes, there are some veterinarians very friendly. They can just share everything with you. Once you see this, it means it is caused by this organism. Once you see this, it is this. Some veterinarians will quickly tell you this, and then you take note of it. So these are all things you can do to ensure that your farm and your animals are healthy and they respond to treatment the right way, instead of the organisms developing resistance that the medicine cannot fight them again. If you do that, your animals should be on the way to grow better for you.